everybody. So today I want to cover something I like to do, tire planting. So I like to use old tires that are no longer any good for planting things, well, for a variety of reasons. One, if I decide I don't like that spot, I can move it real easy. Two, it's a use of a tire that normally would just get shredded up and go on scrap, or really not worth anything. You gotta pay for it to leave. So today I'm gonna plant a bleeding heart that I bought. So just to set things straight, put things in perspective here a little bit. So there's a lot of controversy right now about planting and using tires for such things. Break down over time, of course, and they're saying, of course, you know, it is bad for you. These rubber comes from oil, petroleum, to use correct terms. But anyways, so as a rule that I use when I'm planting anything that's not edible, I leave the tire whole. But if I was going to plant something that I wanted to eat, I would cut this, one side of this, where it starts to bow back in towards where the rim would go. So I'll cut this out, and I just use a knife. Drives down fairly easy down in there. I will tell you, car tires are a lot easier than truck tires. This here, I believe, is a 10-ply tire. Of course, the smaller the tire, the easier it is to cut. But anyways, the side that I cut out, I'll put that to the ground. So anything that's going to leach out over time will go. That's, for food stuff. It'll leach out into the ground and dissipate and whatever. So that's what I'm going to do with some blackberries that I got. It's more of a temporary planting for the blackberries for right now. I did the same with some rhubarb. I'm just trying to get established in a spot. It's more of a nursery site. And then later on they'll go into a more permanent place once I get that built. I'm going to be transplanting all of my rhubarb in a year or so. But anyways, so like I said, in here, this will be for a bleeding heart. And reason I will really love tires for this kind of thing is you don't have to worry about proper heat, watering too much. Any excess water, boom, right down into the ground. And it does keep some extra water in here stored, so when it doesn't rain for quite a while. I love this method for planting big leafy things, like rhubarb, or on a more annual basis, my zucchini, squashes, things with vines that run. The black attracts the heat, stimulating the roots, and of course the excess water helps it grow. Those tires that I use for vegetable crops, I don't tend to cut the tire because I empty them out every year and stack them and put them away, and I'm putting new compost in them every spring. So I'm not too worried there. In truth, I'm not worried at all. I mean, everything these days is going to kill you. So, just to show you real quick what my method is, you're going to need a pretty good size wheelbarrow of compost. That's about I think they call it, what do they say it is? They claim it's, I don't know. They claim a lot of things. It doesn't actually say on it. But it's about the size of a bale of shavings for those that have animals. So I just throw it in the center, and once I get a good amount in there, I take my shovel and pack it into the tire walls themselves. And I fill it all as much as possible. Now, it's just about, unless you get down there and do it by hand, without a shovel, it's going to be damn near impossible to fill it completely full. but I consider that alright because put some air in there, and air isn't horrible. Even plants need air in the ground. As long as they don't dry out the roots, they're good. This is a truck tire, so this is going to take the vast majority of this wheelbarrow. Now, you probably see some roots flying into there. This compost pile was allowed to have all sorts of things naturally grow in it. Right now there's raspberries. There was a bunch of jewel weed in there at one point. I'm not worried about them roots, because another thing that I really love about tires is the fact that I'll have my plant grow and I can very easily see what doesn't belong, and I can easily pull it out and help the plant get established. And I'm not worried about anything else creeping into it. I know of quite a few people that use this method for gardening. I know of a guy that actually stacks tires on top of tires. He'll plant in the base one, he'll plant potatoes. Then as the vines grow, he puts a new tire, fills it in, just like it's hilling it. And he does pretty good for potatoes. It's only him, so he doesn't really care about that 11-to-1 ratio that you're supposed to get. For every potato you plant, you're supposed to get 11 pounds back. He doesn't really care about that. But he still gets pretty close. Okay, that feels good and tight. Now I'm just going to throw some fresh in the bottom here. Chop up that ball. There we go. And now, this is the first time I've bought roots like this. I still in the air about this. But, you know, hey. First time for everything. Alright, so I'm just going to find my roots. And the root looks nice and healthy. Okay, I feel a lot better about it. Feels nice and moist. Here's the top, your root bottom, base. Okay, so we're going to plant that in the center. And then I'm going to bury it. So right here, this box is saying remove the potting wrapper from the plant, cut off any foliage. I think it's saying to plant about 12 inches. I've never done that. Not before, not ever, and I'm not about to now. It'll be planted pretty close anyways. As for instance, that's 9 inches for me, and that's not even to the base of the root itself. But it's to the base of the stalks that have started on that. I got a pretty big hand spread. And I'm just going to loosely get rid of that root, break up this clod, shake the soil on top. Break up these clods. Oh, that's beautiful stuff. This compost is the better part of 15 years old. And it's just been sit there. It just sat there to naturally rot. It's from a herd of cattle family used to have. I just use it for whenever I need it. Alright. Planted. Done. I like that. So now I'm just going to water this. It's important to, like when planting anything, soak the area really well afterwards. That's actually pretty damn close to a foot planting, what they're recommending, but I'm calling that good. But yeah, it's a real nice method. I thoroughly enjoy it. I will admit it is a pain in the fall, making sure I've got a place to stack all my tires that I'm using for like vegetables, but you know, that I change out every year. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. Give it a try. I'm gonna cut a tire behind me now and start planting my blackberry roots. Have a good one.